3, 2, 1. Here we go. Learn Excel from Mr. Excel podcast episode 2293. Power Query, link to summarized version of ourselves. Hey, welcome back to the Mr. Excel Netcast. I'm Bill Jelen. Well, this is really exciting. I'm recording this live at Microsoft Ignite. They have this great podcast booth here that they gave me with all kinds of equipment that I don't know how to use and I won't be using. But what we'll be doing here is recording this in Camtasia. All right, so this is our second episode from the week, and the whole theme this week is Power Query. We'll be doing a lot of Power Query. So we're going to talk about how to load a file to Power Query, doing a VLOOKUP to a summarized version of that table. All right, so we're going to actually import this twice. So first thing we want to do, if the data is going to stay here in Excel, we want to make it into a table. So Ctrl+T or format as table. Click OK. And rather than a table 1, I'm going to call it MyOriginalData, like that. Okay, first step. Summarize the data. So here we go. Our goal is to get % of region, which means I need to summarize this by region. So I want to know region and revenue in a lookup table, essentially. So I'm going to create that using Power Query, which is pretty wild. All right. So we'll say data from a table or range. There we are, like that. Okay, and what fields do we need here? We just need region and revenue. Region and revenue. So I choose region, I choose revenue. I right-click and say remove the other columns. All right, then we are left with region and revenue. Now, the region column is already selected. On the Transform tab, we'll use Group By. And we'll say Group By Region. The new column is going to be called Total Revenue for Region. And the operation is going to be Sum. And the field is going to be the revenue column. All right, now right now I have 617 rows in this file. When I click OK, after this step, we're going to get a really small file, just 5 rows with the total revenue. That's all I need to do. And instead of calling this MyOriginalData, I'm going to call it Region Totals, like that, Region Totals. And then Home, Close and Load. Do we get to close and load to the spreadsheet? No, not yet. Close and load to only create a connection. There we are. Click OK. All right, so now we have our region totals, connection only. That's beautiful. Now we're going to come back in and do the query to get the whole table into Excel. So we're going to say into Power Query. So we're going to say get data from a table or range. And we'll call this pointer to whole file. Enter. Date. Boy, they added a date and time there, so I'll transform and say that that is really just a date, like that. Replace current, item, quantity, region, price each, revenue. That looks beautiful. Home, close and load to, only create a connection. Click OK. All right, so now I have 2 tables here. Boy, what are these? These have been hanging around. I just use the same file each time. This is probably from an old podcast. And we'll get rid of that, All right, so now I have the whole file, and I want to connect that to the region totals. The whole file, connect that to the region totals. So just start out here from nowhere, get data from our combined queries, a merge. This is essentially doing a lookup from its own table. And we'll start out with pointer to whole file, like this. And we're linking it to the region totals like that. And what fields are in common? Region and region. Those are the fields we want. Of course, 617 rows from the table are matched. That's perfect. Click OK. All right, here we are. Date, item, quantity, region, price each, revenue, and then region totals. We want to expand this just to get one thing, the total revenue for the region. I don't need a prefix on that. Click OK. All right, so now we have total revenue for the region and revenue. And for each of these items, I want to see what the percentage of the total item is. So we're going to add a column. It's going to be a custom column. And we'll call this percentage of region. Like that. And the formula is going to be this row's revenue divided by total revenue for the region. Like that. Click OK. And bam, there it is just outside of view. Unfortunately, let's see if we can make things smaller back here. So it gets back inside the view. Of course we can't. You'll just have to trust me that percentage of region is out there and working. Well, here, let's just bring it back in so you can see it. So there's percentage of region. So if we grab a calculator, 899 divided by 1759562 better be that number, 0.0005. And hey, I'm going to check that later when I have a calculator. For right now, though, not going to check it. We're on the clock. All right, so here we go. Now we're ready to close and load, and there's our file with total revenue for the region. That is success. Isn't that crazy? We're taking this one file, we're loading into Power Query twice, once as a summary, once as the whole thing, and then essentially we're doing the revenue divided by a sum if of the revenue. That would be the Excel equivalent. Of course, we didn't have to do sum if or sum ifs. It all just works. Well, hey, tomorrow at Ignite on Thursday, November 7th, I'll be doing a 20-minute seminar right over there in Theater 9. Feel free to stop by for that. Or next week in Chattanooga, Tennessee. And then that's it. No more seminars left. We'll be done traveling. I'll still be doing seminars in Florida, and I'll be doing the YouTube channel and writing books. Don't worry about any of that. That's all going to work like that. By the way, the latest book, Mr. Excel LX, the Holy Grail of Excel Tips. Click that eye in the top right-hand corner to buy that book. Also, hey, because we're here at Ignite, they have a great giveaway. Thanks for listening to our podcast. We recorded at Microsoft Ignite, and Microsoft is giving away Microsoft Surface earbuds to our listeners. To enter, visit aka.ms/podcast sweepstakes. The URL's down there in the description before December 15th. If you like what you see here on the channel, please subscribe and ring that bell. That way you'll get notifications. I want to thank you for stopping by. We'll see you next time for another netcast from Mr. Excel.